Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? Today's a special day. Um, may not get that many views, may not get that many likes, but I have to get this off of my mind that I address this particular topic. I found a news article about how half of the states in the United States are threatened by what they're calling religious. Let me make sure I get it right. Religious equality under threat in half the states. And Oklahoma is one of them, Colorado, Minnesota, different states like that are they're under pressure by all these different, especially the right wing white nationalist parties that are firmly rooted in the hysteria and the belief system of saying that purporting that there's such thing as a God when there really isn't. It's not evil, it's not vicious, it's not mean to believe in God. It doesn't mean that you're an irrational person just because you believe in God. The fact that there is no God is what needs to be addressed, rather than the fact that, having the idea of God, being pressed upon anybody, that shouldn't be a reality. What should be a reality is the respect for other people who may not have the clarity, may not have the idealism that there is absolutely no reason to believe that there is a God, because it's completely baseless. It is without facts, without reason. You're saying to hell with it. I have faith, and anything can go. Anything can go with faith. That's the scary part. You can say, oh, well, Jesus wanted this to happen, and Muhammad wanted this to happen, or Moses wanted this to happen, and anything and everything can go. Anything and everything. So we have to really dig deep. This is a Ask Me Anything show. I ask for $5 donations. You can ask me anything for free. I will not answer everything, but I will answer most things. So if you have something to say about atheism and non-belief and anything of that nature, you are free. You are welcome. I will answer anything. I did this for a few reasons. Besides the article, I had just a little tiny little tiff with a member of my family about using the idea of non-belief in front of her children, which is ironic in a lot of ways, because she's going to be teaching them that Jesus is going to die on the cross and suffer and bleed and just completely lose his life. I mean, that you can talk about that all day. That's fine. That's okay. But you say that there is no God, there is no suffering, there is no pain, and thinking that there isn't no God. That's a problem. That's still an issue. It's just a little bit of irony. Just a bit of irony. Let me see who's in here. Right here. No. So this, like I said, this is not going to garner that many views. This is not a hot topic, but I want to address it. It's on my platform. I want to speak it into existence. I have 903 followers as of this speech right now. But I welcome anyone and everyone to come in, to say something, to share their belief system, to say, I'm a Christian, or I'm a Jew, or I'm a Muslim, or I'm a Wiccan, or whatever the case may be, whatever you want to believe in, whatever mode of reality you choose to ignore. I just think Ayn Rand was very eloquent with her speech. She was interviewed by a man named James Day. He was a reporter, I think. He was a newsman, and he asked her, "Why do you think atheism? Why did you write, or why did you say that atheism is morally corrupt or something like that?" I'm just paraphrasing. She said, "I never said that. I said it's very dangerous. It's dangerous to the man's mind. It's dangerous to a man's psyche, to a individual's psyche." Saying that there is a God. That is very dangerous. That's very disruptive of reality and truth, and having a full and flourishing life. You have to love life, not love God. Love life. Enjoy your life. You only get one of these. It goes pretty fast. So, and it can be cut short. It's pretty long. Life can be long. You can have 100 years or more, and that's pretty long life. But if you want to have a fulfilling life, it's best to be, consider yourself somebody who's a rational being in all facets of life. And that means especially, in all due respect, your cognitive abilities have to be in line with thinking about reality and existence. Existence exists, and that's it. That's it. That's the only thing. Existence exists. That's the only thing that matters. That's true. So, I mean, and we just got past the Christmas season. We're just, coming out of that whole season, where Jesus was born. I call it Easter the prequel, because we already know early in the year what happens to him in Easter, and then we see what happens to him is his birth. So I say Christmas is really Easter the prequel. We find out about his eventual death, everything like that prior to his birth. So it's weird. And he's born of a virgin. I don't know what comedian said it, but there was a comedian that said, the miracle of the virgin birth. Not really a miracle. The miracle is to find someone over the age of 18 who's still a virgin. A woman who's still over 18 who's still a virgin. That would be a high miracle, in today's world. But I'm not trying to make little funnies. I know that was a little funny, but I'm not. I'm trying to be as serious and clear eyed as possible. I think it's very important to discuss this, very delicately and with force at the same time. You're gonna be careful not to say the wrong thing about faith and beliefs, but you also want to be pretty assertive with the idea of having a rational conversation with the idea of atheism. That's the whole point. And that's the thing that Ayn Rand said. I mean, even in her lexicon, she didn't write anything about atheism explicitly in her writings. Not explicitly, not in a form of breaking it down to what it has to be. Dr. Leonard Peikoff, he has an entry in her lexicon on atheism. And it just shows how she never really considered it to be of serious. She never really held it seriously. She knew it was dangerous, but she never really found it to be that serious. There's two things in life that really are important: work and romantic love. Your career and the person you want to be with on a romantic level. Those are the two cornerstones, or the two pieces that make up the puzzle of life, that complete life. Of all its facets, of everything that has to do with it, those are the key things that have to occur, for you to have a flourishing and happy life. In certain circumstances, you can have, a pet or something like that, and not have a spouse or something like that, But I think everybody has to or had to have worked sometime in their life to really enjoy the fruits of their labor, and to have somebody to ride with them. That's a bonus. That's an extra. That's a welcome and very valuable bonus, to have somebody say, you know what, I value you. I will worship you based on your virtues. You're worthy to me. You're worthy in my sight. And just like how Dr. Yaron Brook has said before in certain circumstances, about how the culture prizes sacrifice and being selfless and unselfish and altruistic. And so, is that what you do when you go to your spouse, or, before your spouse, before you marry them? You say, I don't really love you. I'm just doing this as a sacrifice. I'm just doing this just because if God sent me here to you, and I'm doing this completely selflessly and unselfishly. You get slapped in the face by male or female. You get slapped in the face for saying something like that because it's completely ridiculous. That's completely disgusting. You love somebody selfishly, and that love does not come from God, as many people would like to say. And people all the time will say, oh, well, I believe in God, and that's fine. I have faith. Okay. I believe. All right. I respect that. I have more respect for people that do believe in God rather than agnostics who don't believe in God whatsoever, or don't subscribe to atheism, but they're on the fence and they're afraid to say, well, I don't believe in God, but, there could be something out there or something out there. When I die, I'm going to go somewhere. I mean, just imagine the idea of heaven and hell. Just think about it. Once you think about how ridiculous it is, you'll see how, strongly, I really mean what I'm saying. Just think about heaven. I've said this on many occasions. I said, there's pearly gates, there's gold streets, there's mansions, there's many rooms. Who built all this? The angels with it? You take this as ha 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 ha. This is funny. No, but seriously, like, who did all this? Somebody had to craft all this. Once you get to the ridiculous nature of it, it all falls apart. Hell, it's scorching hot, and then it's like freezing cold at the lowest levels. I think where Dante described. It just gets to a point where you're like, this is not right. This is not true. This is not real. And that's just the Judeo-Christian viewpoint. I don't think the Jews believe in hell though, but Christians definitely do. And that's where I'm coming from. That's my upbringing. I came up as a Christian. I was a Christian for 16 years. Good person to be on the chat. Texas, talking about go back to Jesus. Can't go back to Jesus. Will not go back to Jesus. Refuse to go back to Jesus. I can't go back. No turning back. No turning back. I've decided to not follow Jesus. I have decided not to follow Jesus. I have decided not to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Now, I found reason. I found truth. I found enlightenment and objectivism. And that's a key point too, because every objectivist is an atheist, but not every atheist is an objectivist. There can be so many socialists and fascists and communists and so many other different organizations and ideologies that are available in the world, and they don't hold a candle to just being an objectivist, which is a complete and utter and fully developed philosophy. And its offshoots, its unofficial offshoot, objective hate, which holds the truth behind human relations and psychology, really. That's why I subscribe to Ayn Rand's objectivism and Mr. Choice Terrain's objective hate, which is a derivative of objectivism, but is a powerful derivative. It's a very formative and very challenging way of viewing existence. And if it weren't for that book, Objective Hate, I would probably still be a believer, still confused, still wondering why people are doing the things they do. It would have been an evil thing. No, you are trying to put human logic with God. It don't work like that. Well, there is no logic in God. That's the whole point. Explain to me the logic of God. How is God logical? What is the process of thought that is included in the argument for a God? What is included? You tell me. You let me know. You let me know, Texas. Let me know what logic of God there is. And what does God look like? Is he 5'5"? Is he 6'6"? Is she 7'7"? How tall is she? What color is her hair? What color are her eyes? What color are her Is she mixed races? Who was her mother? Who was her father? Who was God's mother and father? All of these things that you sound like little kid questions. Like they ask you, well, who's God's God? Who does God worship? God worships himself or herself? I mean, that's the reason why you have to go into the atheist realm, because these questions are answered like an adult. They don't exist. There is no God to exist. Therefore, you would say that there is no attributes that you can ascribe to God. And that's the reason why they wrote in the book what Jesus would look like. So Jesus must look like what God looked like. They said he had, hair of wool and skin of bronze and stuff like that. Just it's just ridiculous. You said who crafted heaven, right? Yeah, who crafted heaven? There was a war in heaven, by the way. Is there going to be another war in heaven after the earth ends? Is there going to be another war? Exactly. Those labels you are saying is human logic. You know as well as I do. God said, "I am the Alpha and the Omega." What becomes before Alpha? What comes before goes after Omega? That's my question. What is before Alpha? What is after Omega? You want to make the Greek alphabet? Make the Greek alphabet. But what comes before and after? No answer. There's no answer because there isn't. Existence exists. The alphabet exists. And I'm saying this as a metaphor. The alphabet, like A to Z, exists, but there's nothing before A and there's nothing before or after Z. There's only the letters A through Z. And how many beautiful words and sentences and paragraphs and chapters and novels and books can we make based on these different things? How many words can we express? How many things can we say based on just these 26 letters? And how many ever letters are in the Greek alphabet? Uh-oh. Carnes redacted a message. All right, let's see. He's got another one. Who said there was a before or after? Who's exactly? That's my point. There has to be a before and there has to be an after. There has to be a before and an after, or none, and there is none. There's a whole suggestion saying I'm an Alpha and Omega, that there's a before and there's an after. Well, there has to be no before and there's an after, just like there's no God, because there's no before and after. There's no letter before A, and there's no letter before after Z. And why do you care? Why do you care if there is? Why do you care if there's a God? Why do you have life in existence, and everything that exists, everything that's been created by minds and productive beings? Why do you care? What makes it so amazing and so amazing and enlightening to the believer? I'm putting quotation marks on enlightening to the believer who says that there is a God. How could you say there's a God? How could you even form your lips to say there's a God? I've said it for 16 years. Then I said, you know what? I gotta shrug off this. I shrugged it off. Shrugged it off because of Ayn Rand's book, Virtue of Selfishness. Excuse me. The Virtue of Selfishness gave me that impetus, gave me that motion to speak on my own terms, to say, oh my God, I can talk about my own self. There is no God. I can do this selfishly. I can do this on my own. I can stand up and say to the world, this is what is real. This is what's true. Texas is going in. Not surprisingly. I was wondering if Texas was going to chime in. But that's just it. Why worry about all these things that have no bearing on living or life? Why worry about God? Why worry about deities? Why worry about so many things? And what's so amazing is we're going to get to a point where we're going to definitely be in a atheist, in an objectivist way, because what happens is over time, the gods and the goddesses and the deities and everything like that, they become companies, and they become names of the week, and they become space missions, and they become all these different gods and goddesses and deities that were once used to sacrifice people, or sacrifice people and things, people and animals, and different things like that. They that's the power. That's the power I mean. I mean that wholeheartedly. Just think about it. What is Apollo? What is Nike? What is Thor? What is Psyche? What is so many others? Hercules and all these things of Greek and Roman myth, of Norse myth, of all these different myths, and they become, myth. Nobody says hardly Christian mythology. Hardly few people say Christian mythology. I say Christian mythology all the time because that's what it is. It's not anything else but mythology. God loves you so much. If you don't want him in your life, he won't force you to be. Well, what is my life? What does God have to do with my life? There's nothing to do with my life because it's non-existent. You don't have any. Give me your attributes. Give me your attributes for God. Then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. She's 36 years old. She smokes cigarettes. She has blue jeans and red lipstick and wears green halter tops. Like, tell me what God looks like. Give me an example of what he looks like and what she sounds like and what she smells like. Does she just smell like cigarettes? No, she smells like perfume too. It sounds ridiculous, right? But that's what I mean. That's how ridiculous the whole idea is. Not for the believer, though. If you're a believer, it's not ridiculous. I have to respect the fact that you subscribe to it. But for me, as an atheist, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. Oh, I see you got yourself some new glasses. Yes, Bella, how are you? Do you believe in God, Bella? Do you believe in God? I got 4 people in here, 3 likes. I'm not mad. Not mad. That's gonna be my quotes. I'm not mad. Even atheists believe in Jesus. That's a contradiction in terms, sir. You can't believe in Jesus in the mystical sense. I could recognize that he may have been a man that walked the earth. I can recognize that. But I cannot say that in the mystical terms of the miracles, quote unquote, the resurrection from the cross, the seated at the right hand of the Father, all of that, it just is complete gobbledygook to me. But to you, it's something serious. I respect that, but I cannot respect the fact that it's faith. I respect the fact that you hold the faith, but I can't respect the faith itself. Wesley Curry II says, you put under martial law for the remainder of your lives. I have no idea what you're talking about. Omnibar, branded barcode. Oh my God, I have no idea. You are talking some really special sci-fi, high-ended talk right now. No idea what you're talking about. But yes, like I said, Ayn Rand did not have an entry in her lexicon, regarding atheism. It was almost like a given. It was almost like I always think of it as, objectivism is this beautiful mansion or this wonderful skyscraper, and you're welcome to come in the skyscraper, but you got to check your code at your door. The code at your door is, as long as you're within the realm of objectivism, you gotta check your code at the door. The code at your door is atheism. Your theism. Um, if you're going to enter this philosophy, you have to check it at the door. But that's as simple as that. You're checking your code at the door. It's nothing more than that. Okay, Curry. Bella says, "Okay, Curry guy, you better stop before you cause some trouble." Okay, yes you do. Jesus showed it to you in dreams and visions. But Bella, I didn't see if you said you believed in God. Okay, no, I'm an atheist and I do not believe in God. Okay, you're on the right path with me. You're on the same path, I should say. I'm not going to say the right path because that may be injurious to people that believe. I'm not trying to go at you. I'm going at your faith. I don't care about anything saying, against God or anything like that. I'm saying I don't go against the person who believes in God. You still have a chance to not believe in God. You still have a chance to be a non-believer. You still have a chance to realize what it means to be a whole person. Wow, it's 6:25 in the evening, Bella. I'm glad you're on. I know you got to go soon. You got to go soon, I'm sure. But I appreciate you for checking in. Thank you for that. Thank you for checking in. But yes, I mean we're outnumbered a lot, a lot. I mean because they count atheists. There's few data on objectivists in the world. I say there's probably maybe 500,000, maybe a million. And that may be crazy. I don't even know. They're hardcore ride or die objectivists. There's millions, maybe a billion of atheists. But like I said, they could be anything. They could be, fascists and socialists and communists and so many other things. I'm a capitalist through and through. I meet other people as traders. I recognize government only in its capacity to protect individual rights and property rights. That's the essence of capitalism. Yep, it is. And maybe I don't know. Ha ha ha. Well, I'm glad you're here right now. I appreciate it. This isn't going to be one of my top, earning shows. I'm sure, but um, I wanted to get this off my mind. This is the closest thing to therapeutic for me because I was just holding it in my head and I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not really feeling that. So I wanted to express this as best as I could with as much sincerity and clarity as I possibly could. I mean, we have differences like Texas. Texas and I have differences. He believes in God. That's his right. He has every right to believe in anything he wants. He wants to worship a light pole or a Christmas tree or a bureau or a television set. That's all his business. You have the right to do that. That's the beauty of this country. We have the right to choose to believe in whatever we want to believe in or not believe in whatever we want to believe in. Skeptically pissed. It's not atheism that is important. It's being a critical thinker that's important, and that will bring to the non-belief position. Skeptically pissed. I agree with you. I agree with you. But that's why I'm an objectivist. That's the pinnacle of critical thought. Objectivism. I feel like my autism is kicking in up again because I'm getting annoyed at everything today almost. Well, I hope your autism, can be cured by the hands of Jesus. And hallelujah, thank you in the name of the Father and God. No, I try not to be funny. I'm just trying to keep it light because this can get really dark and this can get really heavy. But seriously, I hope your autism doesn't affect your mind, Bella. Hope it doesn't deter you from your thoughts on existence being it's itself. Existence exists. That's it. There's nothing before. There's nothing after. It just what is. Let's see, who's that? Well, I got it since I was born. Okay, you had it since you were born. Okay, okay. I hope you have a rewarding and fulfilling life despite your condition. That's all I can say. Don't let anything hinder you or deter you from enjoying and having a happy life despite your condition. And I say that wholeheartedly. Say that with full mind. So I just wanted to say, thinking about Jesus in this way is very not just Jesus but God, deities, everything, all of them, everything mixed in one. Because once you start to get out of the realm of reality and start saying that there's belief system, that means you're not. Let me say what you're not. You're not morally bankrupt. That's one thing. It's not about morality, even though it's a function of morality. Even though God plays a role in morality, even how historically faiths have hijacked morality and continue to this day. I mean, what did we just see on the first of the month? The guy who rammed all those people with his truck, killed at least 10 to 15 people. I can't remember exactly the number, but at least 14 people I think died. Many more, scores more injured, or at least dozens more injured. Just think about that. Just think about that. Islam, ISIS, all that. Islam, Judaism, Christianity, they're all in the same boat. There was a joke. I'll say this quick joke. John Stewart said, Moses, Muhammad, and Jesus all went to the same high school. But that's the same. It's like, it's a serious joke because it's like they basically came out of the same womb of Abrahamic faiths. They all came from Abraham, which is the basis of sacrifice. All of them preach sacrifice. That's one of the worst things. And people think, oh, sacrifice, that's a virtue. That's a good thing. Not really. Yeah, that's why I broke it off with Anders. Haha. So you believe morals are subjective? Sorry, objective. Yes, morals are definitely objective. Morals, ethics, and virtues are definitely objective, without question. I'm just going to say skeptically. Yeah, so that's my answer on that. They're definitely objective, and I'll explain further. When you have a code of ethics, that breaks down as, especially objectivist code of ethics, that breaks down as your mind. That is your thought process. That is your ability to meet with others, because really there is one thing that is possible on, like, take a desert island, being stranded on a desert island, like Tom Hanks in Castaway or something like that. You need morality. You need morality to live. Now, there's no politics. There's no other people involved, but you need epistemology, especially, and you need ethics to, sustain your life. If your life is a value, you have to objectively view how to sustain and to grow and thrive in life, even if you're on a desert island. I honestly can't stand people who constantly talk about God and Jesus. Well, there was a point in my life where I was like, I was just becoming a non-believer. I was like, okay, it's God and Jesus. But you get to have an understanding. You say people just aren't exposed, and people haven't been won over. They haven't been won over by reason. They haven't been won over by thought. They want to go by feelings. They want to go by emotions. How they look through the world as as something that should serve them, and then they serve God. That's the thing. It's like there's people that want to be served by man but still serve God. Those are called dictators or despots. The only thing that they serve is a God, but everybody else serves them. That's how disgusting and despicable it is. I would tend to agree. Why would you say to someone that asks, "What is your justification?" Curious, that's all. No. Justification is just that. Like I said, justification is morality. You have to have a code of morality, a code of ethics. Ayn Rand's code of ethics was self-interest or selfishness, not trampling over dead bodies, not getting your own way, me, I, ego, all by myself. I'm all alone. It's just for me. That's not selfishness. Selfishness is a recognition of your entire capacity to move through the world liberally and freely, and to engage with other people as traders and show them that you are a virtuous person as well. That's the justification. So skeptically pissed. I have to ask you, how did you find this particular broadcast? Was it on the vertical scroll? Yes, you were just scrolling through different different videos. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe. I usually ask for $10. I usually ask for $10 for questions, but today it's all free. I just asked for a $5 donation. You don't have to give. I'm just saying $5 is encouraged. YouTuber. Well, I'm not your bro, but all right. I have. All right. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, this is gonna be one of my low flyers, but I had to get it off my chest. This is my therapy session. And if you don't mind, if you don't want to donate $5, encourage your other friends and say, hey, just this goofy guy with sunglasses and a hat and a gold tie and a black shirt. You should listen to him. He's kind of goofy, but he's got some ideas and perspectives. Definitely check him out. Okay, bye. See you skeptically. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you for the subscription. Now I'm 96 more away again. It was 96 overnight. I mean, it was 97 overnight. It was 96 now. Okay. Now it's down to 903. Okay. Oh boy, this is the struggle, but it's a beautiful struggle. That's the reality. I just had to get this off my mind. I had to get this out of my head, and I'm having a good time doing this because I didn't want to upset my family member. So we have Bella in Texas in here right now. Is that true? Put a 1 up if you're in the live chat. Just put a 1 up. It's very. It's just very. It's a marvel. It really is. It's a marvel to understand. I go to church every Sunday, and I'm just looking around, and I'm like, these people just come to this church. They really don't, follow the Bible, and they're not in Jesus all the time. And somewhere it says that, I think in the Bible, he said like at all times be within Jesus. Like you just can't. You can with objectivism. You can be fully objectivist, but you can't be fully Christian. You can't be fully Islamic. You can't be fully Judaist. You can't be fully Buddhist. You can't be fully Hindu. You can't be fully any other thing that you want to believe in. You have to subscribe to reality. Reality has been the handmaiden of faith for centuries, for millennia probably. Those are two hands slapping each other as a high five, and a purple button with a cross. I don't know what that means. Yup, still here. Thank you, Bellas. Thank you. I appreciate it. 4 likes, 4 people. That's what I'm talking about. It's gonna be low, but it's still gonna be a good amount. I'll still get a good amount. I was just talking with I guess he's a subscriber or something like that. Son of the Sun, he was saying like, oh, I scared people away. The irony of him. I've scared people away. I had put more people than ever. I have 903 subscribers. What is he talking about? And he said, oh, I scared people away early on because philosophies of Mr. Train and Ayn Rand, you don't have your own identity. Hello? I have definitely my own identity. If I didn't have my own identity, the first person to say it would have been Mr. Choice Terrain. He said, I don't know, man. It doesn't look like you're gonna be on your own. You can't. You're gonna be too much like me. You're not gonna be able to do it. All he said was they want to see your face. They want to hear your voice. So I said, you know what? Let me try this out, and it's worked ever since. You still here? It's a cross. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know it's a cross, but I don't like just emojis. Put some text to that. Bella, he knows. He just got jokes. I have no jokes. I'm being serious as hell. I'm being serious as all hell. I have no jokes. I'm being serious. I don't like emojis. You're the one playing games. I've said this many occasions. I don't like emojis because I don't know what that means. What does that communicate? What are you trying to get past? What are you trying to show? So, of everything that we have discussed, I think one of the key elements is the fact that it's just like it doesn't even. There's no there. That's what Dr. Euron Brooks says. There's no there. You know, you can subscribe to as many gods as you want. You can go back and forth. I'm an atheist. I'm a believer. I'm an atheist. A believer. I never have. The closest I came was one night when I thought, I would have to go back to belief because I was having a mental breakdown. I think, and that's what happened. I had bipolar disorder, and the power of bipolar disorder is that I take these psychiatric drugs that really give me clarity and give me a good light on things and show me the exact way that you're supposed to be. I mean, my brain's chemistry was completely altered and is still being altered as I speak. If we have to talk about anything else, it's especially, the whole thing about God and war. God and war. God. How many wars have been fought? How many inquisitions? How many crusades? How many 6-day wars, 100-day wars? All these different wars fought in the name of God or fought because of over land that should be counted as displaying ideas related to God. And there's billions of people, billions, with a B, billions with a B, that subscribe to God, to subscribe to all these things. Everybody knows it's not true. You have to know in your mind of minds that it's not true. It's just not a fact. It's not a reality. But people want to go on and do it because they want to. They can't be, like I said, you cannot be totally Catholic. You can't be completely Presbyterian. You're not exactly Episcopalian. You have to go through life, especially within our culture. How many newscasts they love to see at the end. At the end, they have the human story, human interest story. That's the closest they come to faith-based idealism in the news. But the news itself is clear-eyed, measured, should be objective, should be, totally unbiased. What is God but bias? What's not true? The idea of God is not true, sir. The idea of God is not true. That's not true. And you have to, and I am not called upon to explain it. You have to show proof. You have to show evidence that there is a God. The burden of proof is upon you. Give me physical DNA evidence, concrete evidence that there is a God. And I say, okay, hey, there's a God. But that's never been explained, never been shown. Never, and it never will be. So I'm feeling really good about myself, to be honest. Let me pat myself on the back. This is not going to be one of my best viewed shows. But I was just looking at the atheist, American Atheists story, and I was just taken by it because it's so it demanded my attention. It truly demanded my attention. So if you have any questions, anybody has any questions, now is the time. I don't understand. I give them AMAs. It's the irony. I give them AMAs for free. Ask me anything. I won't answer everything, but you can ask me anything, and I'll answer it for free. But when it has $10, what's your favorite color? What house did you live in? What part of Delaware do you live in? They ask me all kinds of questions then. But when I have a free AMA, that's when everybody gets all quiet. Goofy people, goofy. 6 people. If you're in the live chat, put a 1 up right now, please. Let me see who else is in here. 1 up. If you're in the live chat right now, put a 1 up, please. Just type the number 1. That's all you have to do. Number 1, and you'll be set. Texas is in here. Oh yeah, I forgot what you thought about the Netherlands almost getting in war with Russia. I didn't see that. I just know that our president-elect wants to make the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. He wants to make Canada the 51st state, and he wants Greenland and Panama to be part of the territories of the United States of America. We'll see what happens. That's all I can say. He's just irrational and just it makes zero sense. Whatever he has to say is completely, devoid of any kind of thought, any kind of real scrutiny and understanding of logic. I just heard that from a friend a few months ago who lives there. I didn't even know about that. I'm all for that. What are you all for? What are you all for, Texas? Put my hands together. But seriously. Yeah, and here's the issue too, because like I said before, my family member, she's shielding them from all this talk about non-belief. The irony is rich. The irony is so rich. She's shielding them from all this non-belief, but she's going to be teaching them sacrifice, blood, excruciating pain. You know that the word excruciating comes from the crux, excruciating. He actually was on a post, but that's a totally different story. But yeah, and then like the baby Jesus born of a virgin, like come on, man. You have to, and then they say, oh, well, what Santa Claus? How does he even fit down the chimneys? Huh? Santa Claus goes around the world in reindeers, and I take Santa Claus's fat, jolly, roly-poly ass over Jesus's heroin addict body any day, because I'm for Jesus. Actually, I'm for the thought of Jesus. I'm for him going around spreading his gospel, quote unquote. That's fine. Whether you believe it or not, that's totally on you. But he went to see, he spread his seed across the land, sown seeds of ideas, and it didn't even take root. Didn't even take hold until 40 years after his death, when Saint Paul, established his church. How many people knew that? What Trump wants to do. Okay, I'm not all for that. Except the Canada thing. I don't want Canada. Well, if there were zero, it would be ironic because he likes tariffs, but there would be zero tariffs on Canada. There'd be zero taxes on imports and exports of different materials, different goods, different products. But yeah, I'm for Jesus. As an atheist as I am, I'm actually for Jesus. I'm for his idea. I say he shouldn't have died. He shouldn't have died for the sins of man. A man of perfect virtue, essentially or allegedly, had to die for the sins of the world, who are vicious and mean and disgusting and nasty at best sometimes. There's still good people, there's still, virtuous people, there's still righteous people, whatever. Just the idea of him dying for the sake of someone else other than himself is a complete, blasphemy in my mind to reality. It's a complete, smack in the, brick to the face, a baseball bat to the face kind of scenario. He didn't deserve to die. He shouldn't have died. He shouldn't have died. Oh, but then they say, well, he was resurrected. And it's like, now we have to go into another whole situation. Really resurrected from the grave. The stone was moved and he ascended into heaven. He has like, okay, I'm learning from this church that I go to. They're saying that he's in every book of the Bible. He can be found in every book of the Bible, from Old Testament to New Testament, from the law to the grace in the script in the Gospels. So, if that were the case, why didn't he get sacrificed at the beginning of the book? Why did they wait till later on? See, it's like once you start questioning everything, once you start asking questions about things, you can find out it's just all a house of cards. It just collapses on itself. That's probably why Canada's prime minister, he resigned. Trudeau resigned. He definitely resigned. Is that 8? And now it's down to 7. All right. The beginning. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I'm still at 903. I need to go up to 100 million subscribers. Oh, snap. YouTube subscriber, do you like Bussy? No, sir, I do not. I'm not a fan of the Bussy. I'm a strong vagina advocate. But thanks for the question. That was a free question. You actually, somebody used the question. I'm glad. That was a freebie. It's all freebies this today. But yeah, about atheism and atheists, the idea of it, it's so simple. It's so weird because I'll be like, when I was a believer, I'll be like, well, that doesn't really. But the thing is, always like there was always like whenever the ship was going, if it was going to go a little further or something like that, it was always an anchor. That's why they call Jesus an anchor, because he's anchored in your soul. They say my soul is anchored. That's the thing. You have to draw up the anchor and go freely around the seas, across the seas. That's the main idea about all this, because you have to ask the questions. You have to have so many questions, and nobody can answer them for me until Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand answered every question I had, and did it with beautiful idealism, with wonderful wordplay, wonderful ideas, very clear, very succinct, very true words spoken. That caught me off guard. Bella, yeah, I guess it would. Never mind YouTube subscriber. That's his favorite thing to do. He's like he's a troll, but he's not a malignant troll. He's a benign troll. Son of the Sun was a malignant troll, but he learned his lesson. He wasn't gonna play around with me too much. I even gave him a wrench because he started acting right. Some people need straightening, and then they get rewarded. Yeah, it's oops only when God wants. I understood. It's all good. It's all good. Everything is kosher. 2 thumbs up. Ebert and Roper. Well, Ebert is no longer with us, but Roper's still around. Oh man, so it's just amazing. People cannot be fully anything but objectivists. Objectivists, you can be fully. You can't be fully anything else. You have to have reality in something, some way, somehow. Even the worst, lowest communists had to have some kind of means of making a living. Some communists are millionaires and billionaires. I don't know how that functions, but that's a possibility. They proclaim to be a billionaire and they're proclaiming to be communists. They can make that work somehow. What's this? I would actually say you understand me better than my ex, aka him. I'm not in the relationship kind of way, though. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I think we have an understanding amongst each other, but not romantically. I think that's fair. That's fair to say, Bella. I just read people. I just know people from their actions. And Dr. Maya Angelou said, if somebody shows themselves, trust them the first time. That's what she said. The late great Dr. Maya Angelou, who is somebody that's of faith. And that's the thing too. I still think it's gonna be like the Winky Guard in Wizard of Oz. The Winky Guard were the soldiers that said, "Oh yo, oh yo," and he said, after the witch died. How about I didn't spoil it for anybody? But you killed her, Dorothy. You killed the Wicked Witch of the West. Hail, Dorothy! That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna have some seismic change. Something spectacular is gonna happen, and people are gonna follow. Sadly, people are gonna be like, "Well, if everybody else is an atheist, I might as well be an atheist too," which is completely incorrect, which is completely unjust and improper. You should become an atheist. You should become an objectivist based on your own ideas, your own set of principles, and your own sense of reality. That's it. All right, so it's coming down to the wire now. Let me get my sponsors in. Life Strong Apparel. He has Doggy Streets. He has Moss. He has Sea Moss Gel. If you make your purchases, go to the checkout line with SKYLER20 Skyler20. You can get 20% off your purchases. So make sure you do that. LifeStrongApparel.com. Also, Beha Jackson. He has his own brand of humor. He has various brands of non-alcoholic beer. He has sardines on the grill. Fried chicken, and speeches about strippers, female strippers. So if you like his commentary, go to BEEJACKSON 5478 on YouTube, or put in Beha BHAAJACKSON. Also, dot focus, DOTFOCUS _ focus. He has Call of Duty. He has an excellent way of displaying himself with his multiple weaponry. And I go on there from time to time. He says, "Oh, Sky's in here, you know." And it's cool. And I'm just watching him do his thing. So go to dot focus, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that come in here for my therapy session. What is this? Whoa, you said a lot. Hold on. Oh. Correction from last night. 1996 was Tupac year, not Nas. Jay has never been the hottest of or best rapper. That's not facts. I honestly feel like I'm going to hell if there even is a hell. You're not, Bella Valentino, because you would already be in hell, or there, since there is hell. There's only heaven and hell on earth. Heaven means you have production, you have life, you have greatness, you have thriving and prospering. Hell is the exact opposite of that. It's pain, it's suffering, it's horror, it's torment. That's all on heaven and hell on earth. Bella, if you take Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you won't. Let's see. Never. No, thank you. Exactly. That's my sentiment. That's a great way to go off. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, Texas. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, YouTube subscriber. Thank you all. I appreciate everyone. It's probably going to have 15 views, but that's okay too. I appreciate everyone. I might come back in later on the night, but we'll see what happens. Thank you again. Take care.